think we'd all realize from the 2006 pay 2007 real estate tax statements that we have a problem.
They're saying I've got a public street. They've never built that street. They're charging me for it, but I don't have a street. Give me a street, I'll be happy to pay for it.
While we're 90 years old, and that sounds old, the township assessment system is 1800s, and it's time for it to go.
Our home was privately developed about 40 years ago by an individual, and he put a partial road in. Most of our road, which is very long between Wells and Wayne, is gravel and rutted. We spent a lot of time and effort trying to keep it up. Nonetheless, the assessor charges us on our assessment card for public streets. So they are not put in by the city, they're not maintained by the city, it's not plowed by the city. They don't really know we're here, but yet we're paying for it.
I was born in this neighborhood and have been a lifelong resident of Indianapolis. My family and I moved back to this neighborhood 4 years ago, attracted by the neighborliness of the area as well as the wonderful character of the homes. We were shocked last year, therefore, to receive our tax bill and learn that despite having done no additional work to the home, our assessed value increased 67% and our tax bill increased 105%.
I've lived in the neighborhood for about 15 years and in our home for 12 years. And you know, when we first moved into the house, our taxes were probably around $2,500 or so. Back in '93, I believe it was $3,600, and we got a really big hit a couple of years ago that took us up to about 10, and this last one was just under $20,000. And with 3 kids in school, all of a sudden we're starting to talk about, do we have to move, do we have to downsize? And so it clearly just put a whole lot of stress on our family.
The assessment that we received as a result of trending is 46% higher than what we paid for this property a few years ago. And clearly we have not had anywhere near that sort of increase in property values. That's easily demonstrated.
I'm not opposed to paying property taxes, and I'm not opposed to paying our fair share of property taxes. However, it's the arbitrary nature of the market assessments in this neighborhood as well as across the city that I think the legislature needs to look at.
I think we're all familiar with the Kernan-Shepard report about streamlining government, and yet I see the Marion County delegation proposing that we maintain township assessment systems, an archaic and outmoded system of well-intentioned people who aren't qualified to judge and value property, so that all property in Marion County is treated fairly and equally as far as the real estate tax assessment. So by that I mean it could vary from township to township just because of different nuances of those assessors and their qualifications or lack thereof. So again, good elected officials, well-intended people, but not qualified. What we need to do is streamline, go to a countywide assessment system with a qualified, credentialed official who has had background in that area so that they can take the raw data and interpret it correctly and give everybody in Marion County an equal chance rather than township to township.